Hello, welcome to Trek Wars and Fantasy. This is my ongoing series of reviewing Star Trek Picard. We are on episode 9, Hide and Seek. Not hide and Q, but hide and seek. And the reason I mention that, it just makes me think of that title, mainly because it's involving Q. So, hello, and can I introduce you to a regular guest now, Olympus. So,
Thank you. Great to be here.
yeah, no, thank you for coming over again. So let's. I'm looking forward to having a conversation again. Some of it's going to be hard going through, but there's also some bits I really liked watching as well.
Mm.
So this is the penultimate episode leading up to the final episode, but the finale, and I've got at least 4 questions, and I'm thinking they're going to have to be asked, and that's excluding what we've actually learned at the end of what's going to happen. But I won't go to the end to start with. I will start at the beginning because it seems a logical place to start. So, I did like the intro on this one. Definitely did get me in the into what I was expecting from the episode. And I know you were saying before it reminds you of something. So, something
Yeah,
else.
yeah. But TNG, Star Trek First Contact. I got all those vibes coming back to me around the Borg. Loved it.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, definitely it's. Oh god, hundreds of questions about how the walkers build up, but those are included in my final question, so I probably will get more into that originally. But what did we have in the intro? We had Drati going and getting her body. Well, when I say Drati getting her body, Drati, the Queen and Drati going and getting the. Actually, what did?
It was the Queen's armor.
Yes. Oh, it was the Queen's armor. That was it. I was about to say she didn't actually get the Queen, but it was just the armor that she was getting. So, which was nice, and it definitely confirms that theory that happened early on. This is going to be the Queen that we seen earlier on in the series.
Mm-hmm.
And it also built up, for the incoming soldiers, ex-Special Forces, or I want to say the SBS, but that's already a thing. The Special Bulk Service, this is, but not the Special Boat Service. Those are incoming. I've got theories on the green lights later, but so any other thoughts on this intro?
No, I found it'll be interesting to see what you say about the green lights because I really like the green lights that they put on, especially surrounding the guns and the laser pointers, which it was like Borg-esque with a twist. And I won't say any more because I know you want to talk a bit about that in a little bit. But again, I did really like it.
Yeah, I got. Yeah, I want to bring it up in the future bit because it appears quite a lot in the. And semi-important, but not that important for a later part. So, yeah, let's keep on track. So, yeah, got me in the mood, got me done a perfect job with. A very good job was that. So you had your break, and then let's go on. So we got Rios, Captain Rios, and I keep wanting to say family, but it's not family. His maybe the family that he wants to have with her and him and Dr. Ramirez which I will not butcher the name this time, but I'll probably have butchered the name, which is not as bad as I did last time. Yeah, I liked him trying to get back. It's still nice conversation. I don't have much to add to their conversations, at least at the moment. So, do you?
Same. I kind of feel like they've done a lot of good building up with those characters up till this point, and it didn't really have an opportunity, I don't think, or they chose not to have an opportunity to really build on it at all this episode.
Yeah.
It was more sort of they were there because they were there at the end of the last episode.
Yeah.
So they had to just jump them a little bit, and then that was it.
Yeah, to be honest, I think the best place for anything to happen with them further is the next episode, and it'll be towards the end. I can't remember.
It's a question. Sorry, what do you think's going to happen? Do you think do you think they're going to go with them back to the future? Do you think that he's going to try and stay?
Yeah.
Do you think something else?
I didn't necessarily think. I originally wasn't thinking about him staying, but I was thinking whether it would be like a voyage home with her coming into the future. Like, I forgot her name, but the whale, whale lady. I'm sorry about getting that wrong, fan. So, hands up, are you?
Don't kill us.
Yeah. But that's one of my theories. I did have another theory, but obviously it hasn't stuck in my head. There's got to be something with this more than a sad story of them just a sad goodbye. It's either that or they're gonna be thrown into something to help them. So that could be any stereotypical film ending or TV ending, them helping out in any way. So unless they're helping being watchers or something like that. No, that won't work. I had a theory, but that's probably out. So anyway, I think we should go. Next thing is the chateau and ship was being attacked by these rogue soldiers, and it's like trying to hide, split up a little bit, increase numbers. I do wish there was. They had a suggestion in there of going, we should put up traps and stuff like that, and it's like, in my head, I really wish they had more of this Bond scene like they had in one of the Daniel Craig ones where he went back home and it's like booby trapped his house.
Skyfall,
yeah. That's
it.
I
know exactly which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah. But they didn't have time on their side, I suppose. What were you thinking at this stage?
I'm trying to think back now. I was again. I was still in Borg mode. I think I was absorbed by that.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they split up. I like the logic behind them splitting up, but that also made things feel for me a little bit more urgent and a little bit more deadly.
Yeah.
I like the close calls, especially the close calls that Raffi and Seven had a couple of times.
Oh, yeah.
And yes, it's generally just you're creeping around a spooky, rundown, big chateau. It just had all those creepy, sort of thriller-esque elements again, which just popped up quite a bit this season.
Yeah.
I don't. And of course, sorry, on you go.
I was about to say, I think that's what it was supposed to be, but it didn't. Somehow, it didn't necessarily make me feel scared. That one, I don't know why, and
You're spot on because I didn't, as much as I got the feelings from them that was what they were trying to do, I didn't get the Gare vibes that I got a few episodes ago when we
yeah,
were first in Picard's dream.
yeah. I get they're scared, and I understand that, and I was sold on that. It just didn't necessarily make me scared, which has probably let me get onto the lights with the green uh, lights, which were a good nod to the Borg eye detectors for them. And to me, it was just like, in that situation, that would have probably, I wasn't thinking this originally, it was probably good for them using the lights, um, the sights for it. But for some of it, especially later on, I was thinking, they don't need sights on there. What benefit are these sights for them? Especially some of the earlier stages and some of the later. I think I know why I wasn't scared. It's because we saw them earlier on, like dots, and it was just like, it didn't give me that scared vibe, or it didn't make me. I thought it was good, but it was just like, it maybe made me think, why are they constantly using this? Are they using it to like a Borg light, or are they using it like a gun sight?
Hmm. Hmm. I get that, and to add to it as well, these guys had been partially assimilated, but
Yeah,
assimilated.
yeah,
Why weren't they acting more like drones? They were still acting like human special forces,
yeah. That
like individuals, not like Borg drones with the
yeah,
risk of assimilating other people. They missed that element from it, I think, which I think would have made it a little bit more scary.
yeah. Which would have been useful for the sites, because that's what
Hmm.
made you think is they look like special service forces, but would special forces be using that light? And if they did, they would be doing a far better job. But I'm not here to moan. That just me, just it just I don't think it had the effect on me that it probably should have done. Other than cool, nice lights, nice recognition to the uh, Borg. Uh,
Yeah, would have been a bigger recognition if they were red lights, but I guess special forces don't. Well, if special forces do use lights on their guns, they're probably not red.
yeah, and if they do, it's probably very rare that they would actually use it. But I'm not an expert in the military at all, despite living near a naval base and a Royal Marine base and such like. But and yeah, if you work that out, you know roughly which part of the country I live in. But anyway, I'm not, as I said, not here to moan. That's just something that didn't. It was like nice touch, but probably slightly too much use of it.
Yeah, it just didn't quite click.
Yeah. Um. So what else? So I did like Jurati's. I know this is probably skipping a whole lot in the middle, but yeah, I did like Jurati and Seven. So like going saying this is us, where we're gonna have to conquer them with like a corkscrew and a knife. Um. Yeah, that was nice, and it was just like, oh, thinking about it while we're on them. Um. Jurati was. Sorry, was I saying Jurati there?
Yes.
Write my notes out. Um, who did I mean? And I've had a mind blank. It
You
was
forgot
Seven
Raffi.
Raffi. So, uh, insert Raffi mentions on previous Jurati mentions. Um, um, Raffi and Seven with a corkscrew and a knife trying to attack ball drones, but it was like the discussion was Raffi going, "Oh, you'll make an excellent captain," and it was just like that little discussion to say that Seven did actually try to join Starfleet, and It was, and it was like even Janeway tried to do it, but nobody wanted a Borg at least 7 or 9 as a member of Starfleet. And we obviously saw, and they said, oh no, there. What was her basically adopted son from Voyager? Here I'm suddenly having a name probably.
Icheb.
Icheb obviously joined Starfleet because we saw him last season, and it's just like, did you have any thoughts on that? And it's
so I really like the fact that they addressed it, because I think it's a question that's been out in the fan base for quite a while now around, why didn't Seven join Starfleet? I thought it was a lovely nod to Voyager, and an even lovelier nod to Captain Janeway. And it's definitely the thing Janeway would have done, to the point of threatening resignation.
Yeah.
But I can, as much as it's hypocritical as Starfleet, when you think about the other former Borg still amongst them, like Picard, and as we just said there, Icheb. In my headcanon, let's call it, I can understand why they might not have wanted Seven, because of her close proximity to the Borg Queen. Yeah. She was Unimatrix 01. She was on the right hand of the Borg Queen. So Starfleet probably saw that as a bit too much of a threat and went, that's too scary, guys. Bye. Not having anything to do with you.
Yeah. But no, despite it being a small thing in there, that was a nice thing for me, and it was a conversation that, probably would have happened a year or two ago, maybe, but actually, I've avoided questions like that. It's like there's obvious questions, like you decide you don't want to ask, why did this happen, because you think it will cause more hassle than it's worth. But it was nice they brought that up. We have been avoiding the elephant in the room. Is there anything else about the chateau, about Picard in there, and his gang running around? I know I'm suddenly changing the subject before we get on to his mum.
No, absolutely. I'm trying to think of the best way to say it. Like Adam Soong.
Oh yeah.
Because you see a little bit of him. He's like goading and whatnot through the chateau. I actually didn't like that very much. This is a man who is extremely intelligent. Actually says at the start of the episode, up until now, not been a violent guy. To be acting the way he was acting was a little bit too stereotypical villain for me, and it just didn't fit in with his character for me.
Yeah. It's suppose it has almost gone from an intelligent enemy to a with problems to a moustache twirling bad guy.
Maybe the writers are doing that on purpose because they want to show that he's in over his head. Like the moment Jurati / Borg Queen turned up in the previous episode at his place, he was instantly in over his head. He didn't know what he was getting involved in. Maybe that's what they're playing on.
Yeah. I don't. Maybe he for some reason wants to talk to Picard. Have Picard there as for something, for help, or
maybe
and their crew for something, which is why he's there.
Could be.
There's got to be a reason why he was giving them a chance, other than what he said when he was in the woods going, I want an easy life for me, an easy route, which we all want an easy route to things, don't we? But
Yeah, and if you think of it from Sung's perspective, he spent his entire life working his arse off trying to do what he was getting to the bottom of with the genetics, and he never managed to get there. And maybe he's just tired and feeling like he needs to be able to, achieve what he wants to achieve, so he can sit back and relax at last because he's burnt himself out. Maybe
yeah,
I can see that. I can definitely
yeah,
see that. I just the whole him creeping through the house, goading Picard and whatnot, didn't quite like. I wasn't keen on that bit so
yeah.
much. And in terms of Picard going through the chateau, I didn't click to the fact that he initially didn't remember where the secret passageway was. Because he sort of pauses for a minute. He's like, "Where was it? Where was it? I don't remember where it was. I don't know about you, but no matter what happened to me, if I had a super cool secret passageway that took me down into a load of different tunnels into the chateau that I lived in my whole life, I wouldn't forget about it."
Yeah. No,
It's a pretty cool feature to the house.
for me, this gets us onto the subject of what's happened to his mum. It is, if you've watched the episode, you know what's coming. So if you do have any reasons to skip forward, this is the place to skip forward about it.
Insert disclaimer here around very, very sensitive, potentially disturbing and upsetting scenes and discussions.
Yeah. It is, and with her and what they went through, it's obviously, and we will get to join this up with the door in a minute, but or at least in my discussion anyway, in my head, is he obviously cared a lot from his mum and learnt a lot from his mum. It's something that going through there, knowing that she hung herself because she was going. I don't know if having bouts of. I don't know what's a better word than madness, but mental problems. It
was like a form of depression and schizophrenia type merging, wasn't it?
Yeah. And for me, it's like, mate, this is something, because you obviously see Picard let her out because he. Remember, this is all his thoughts and see coming from his point of view as a child. That his dad was obviously doing something that he thought was bad. He thought was wrong, nasty, horrible. Which it still could be, but bear in mind we're seeing this from a youngster's point of view, and he may not be seeing everything. And letting her out and then finding her hung. I don't know about you, but I'm sure even if I saw that now, I would probably be in a horrible state, and I would probably want to forget everything about it. And by the looks of things, the show was trying to show him. We're trying to put that to the back of his head, because when the Watcher went into his head, that's where it ended up coming out, because it was like, don't want to go anywhere near that. Don't. And bear in mind, this guy is quite old. I know he's been changed to a robot, but he is old. I know in my 40s, even now I go, okay, what happened there again? Oh yeah.
That's a good question, actually, around about Picard's age at this point. I want to say he's. Something in my head's telling me canon age at this point in time. He's over 100. Because I think 140 years old is sort of the standard age of living by the 24th century.
Yeah. I want to Google it, but I know I end up losing the camera, which I think I did very briefly.
I'm Googling it right now.
So, it's you can always, even in his robotic stage, you can tell he's old and has to occasionally take time to think about things, which is understandable and fair enough. But
you're talking between 94 and 97 years old, give or take.
Yeah, and yeah, I know technology has changed by this time, but which is why he's saying. But even that's like I know mine. I know this is not quite the same, but I know my nan, who passed away a couple of years ago, age 99, God bless her. For a good 5-6 years, she was not there at. I'm not saying not there at all, but hardly. She was definitely forgetful, to put it mildly.
My nana had the same. She was the same. She was 1 month short of her 95th birthday, I think.
Yeah.
And the last sort of 7 to 10 years of her life, it wasn't her physical side of things; it was her mental side of things that had dropped.
Yeah, and because of maybe also what he's had in the Picard's had in the past, maybe that maybe something to do with that. So, in a combination of repression, I didn't see an issue with that. It was just like personally, but yeah, it's thing, and
I guess to go to your point as well around that even for adults to witness something like that, you're going to want to forget it. And there's well-known documentation of people who sometimes maybe not even consciously meaning to, but block off memories or entire sequences of memories because of that traumatic that the mind can't cope with them. If that happened to Picard, which they're sort of alluding to in this season for what happened with his mum, then there's a good chance it would have taken away a lot of his memories, including that passageway. To sort of argue against my own point.
And I have a feeling Picard's dad is probably not a person who, and I've probably come across family like this, and I have definitely heard of more extreme examples. It's like, we don't talk about that, never talk about that topic, we will forget about this, this is naughty, you're not allowed to, even in a quiet corner, we're not allowed to discuss this topic.
He seemed a very distant man, didn't he, Maurice Picard?
And I suppose I can understand why, but we're also not seeing it from his point of view as well. And I know the farm wasn't much for modern technology, and I wonder if that was anything to do with not being able to get care or not wanting to use proper care or something like that they were using a room to almost looking at, or maybe it wasn't for locking her in. I don't know about you, unless you've got anything else to say. I know I'm uncomfortable thinking about it.
I think I'd say I'd round my side of it off just by saying that is upsetting a scene or sequence as it was. It's very important to tying off what was sort of going on and what they started with Picard in this season, and it does bring a very personal element of Jean-Luc Picard to viewers that even through TNG and all the movies we've never had. I would say that I see this character a lot more human now and that's I always saw him as human, but you know, I connect with him a bit more personally now than I ever did before. So where it was very upsetting and you know, it makes your heart just break watching it. It is important, I think, for Picard's story and his character.
Definitely. I think it is a topic to put out there with issues like that. It's better to be out there, and other people have that those issues and other stuff. It's not something that should be hidden away. It's we haven't as much lately, but in the past we have talked about the politics of things, showing what's going on in the world, whether it's race, politics, and other medical conditions, including AIDS. And I think this is a semi-way of doing this here. I wouldn't say in a subtle way, but it's not putting up a sign at the end saying "Go and get care," but it's coming up with that.
Yeah.
More subtle way of saying "Go and get help." Go and listen, talk to people. Don't put it into your back of your brain. It's something. So, on that note, shall we head to the starship, Vasarena?
Let's. Yes.
Unless you get
Yes, let's. Oh, this had me on the edge of my seat. The sequence.
Yeah. Go on.
So in fact, you know what? I might be jumping the gun here. I want to make sure that this is the right sequence I'm actually thinking of. Is this the part where we have the confrontation between Jurati 7 and Raffi? Or have I jumped a bit?
I think it is, but it's that's towards the end. We did.
In that case, you continue.
We did meet. Yeah, we did briefly. We're semi-backtracking because these episodes have always been jumpy through.
This one was really jumpy.
Yeah.
Like you need to be on the ball watching this particular episode to make sure you're following this. I think there's 3 different arcs weaving through it.
Yeah, and you've done a couple of these episodes with me before, and I don't usually try to work it out at the beginning what order we're going to talking about it. And I was really going, what do we talk about first? What do second? What? Oh, okay, well, yeah. But we did have a feature for La Serena, which was the emergency security hologram.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah,
yes.
Which was Elnor, which can copy obviously anybody on the ship that's been on the ship to some. I've just got an idea there. Please carry on.
No, absolutely. You know, I think, yeah, they had to get that actor back in for a little bit more of a scene or two than just a glimpse of him. You know, we've been missing him for most of the season. If never Gora, who plays Elnor to a T, he's brilliant, and to see the hologram acting like Elnor and even showing some personality traits like Elnor was both nice and refreshing to have that character in essence back, but also a little bit surprising. I didn't realize that the Starship's holographic systems were as intuitive as that. And I think he mentions to Raffi at one point about how he's got a recollection of the last moments of Elnor's life. I'm quite curious. I don't know if I'll ever find out just how that system was able to capture those moments like that. But it was great to see Arnold back, and even when he's picking up the rifles when he gets to the weapon lockers, it's don't like that one, like that one, and then you just see the sword.
Do you know, I originally was thinking, he obviously doesn't like it. Second, when he got to the rifle, I was thinking, actually, I don't think it works. I think the Queen's done something to make them not work. And then he found the sword. So I was thinking, not that he didn't like it. I was thinking the others didn't work, which is why
I like that. Yeah.
Which is why I know he got excited when he found his sword. Well, Elnor's sword. But it was, yeah.
Again, love the throwback to Voyager. That he's got that device that the Doctor uses to make him like work outside the holographic areas. But I guess it makes him solid as well, if I remember right. Which I'm guessing is why he had that, so that he could fight these combatants properly. Love to know where they got that device from, because the last I heard in Voyager, it wasn't they weren't able to replicate it.
Unless they managed to between that time. What's
well, very possible. Was you talking You're talking maybe 20 years before the end of the 24th century.
2371 is the year that they gone missing, and I've probably mentioned this before. And the reason I remember this is because Star Trek Adventures default year is 2371, which is what I play, which is when Voyager went missing. So 7 seasons on top of that, roughly 27, 78, maybe 79 at a push.
Starfleet Corps of Engineers, the research development and everything. It's possible they could have replicated it by that point.
Yeah, you've got 99 was when season 1 started. This one's, I think, it's a few years later. So, yeah, you've probably got 20 odd years on that too. Unless it is the original. No, it won't be. I was thinking unless it's the original one, but
I wouldn't put anything past 7.
Yeah. And it's like, in that case, what's happened to the Doctor? Unless he's
exactly.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing. I can't see the Doctor getting rid of it or agreeing to give it up.
Yeah, but that's a conversation and a conspiracy theory wormhole to go down later. No, that was good. And the search and the one thing I forgot to mention though was their way of getting rid of everybody off the La Sirena. Now, this is the bit that I did find semi-creepy, was them transporting soldiers into the walls, which, we've sort of seen before on semi-things before, and people, somebody half in a floor before, and it's just like,
We've had transport accidents like that. There was an entire episode of TNG, I think it was called the Pegasus, which was dedicated to a transphasic type cloaking device that went wrong, and the ship ended up half into an asteroid, I think.
Or it's also relevant on the Enterprise episode, the finale. These are the voyages of.
Yeah.
But not that you see it there.
Which links into the Pegasus episode. I think actually, I know it's a complete sidetrack, but I've got to say it's what I loved. There's a lot of criticism behind the last episode of Star Trek Enterprise.
Yeah.
But I really loved what they did, and the fact that we got to see the Pegasus episode from a completely different angle.
Yeah.
I really liked that.
Yeah. I've heard somebody say this, and I'm going to stick with what they said. I think it's a good episode, not necessarily a good finale for
Agreed.
Enterprise. Yeah.
100%. It was not the finale it deserved.
Yeah. So, but again, this is another wormhole I've changed it to wormhole from rabbit hole now, so to go down to.
Love it.
But yeah, Actually, I think unless there's anything we're missing, we'll go on to Girardi and the ladies. Girardi. One thing actually, even before Girardi, actually, I did again. I wanted to love I keep forgetting the actor who plays Girardi, but she talking to herself / the Ball Queen. Her conversation there was amazing. It's
Alison Pill.
Alison Pearl. I know she is big in other shows that I haven't watched, but so I should know her name. But it's again her discussion there, trying to stop herself / the Queen doing stuff was really, really good. That early discussion between them, and then
you see that internal struggle, don't you?
Yeah.
And she plays it so well. You really get the emotion out of it.
Yeah, I think it is a great way of showing the internal struggle on that occasion. Her being the invisible person to do this. Do you want to say anything there? Because all I'm going to say is I really enjoyed this. I really thought it was good.
I'll just mirror exactly what you just said. I thought it was it's a phenomenal piece of acting, and I thought Alison Pill was really good in the first season, but wow, that Girardi character's really come into its own in season 2, and she's played the character and the story so well. It's really made that one of the key focus points of season 2. And obviously plays a vital role that is going to lead back to the start of season 2. Like, I'm convinced now that this Girardi / Queen variant is the Queen that we saw at the very start. It's got to be. It's got to be.
Yeah, and it's her getting to save Seven, having her Borg implants back.
Bittersweet.
Yeah, which makes me think it's going to be these characters are actually going to be the people who go back to the future. I was trying not to say that, but rather than the timeline changing, I think they wouldn't have done that to Seven if they were going to end up with that going. If they were going to go back to their normal self.
I have to say, because you said Back to the Future, great Scott. But in all seriousness, I agree, and that means for me as well, unfortunately, bye Elnor. That's my theory. If that is what's going to happen, and I agree with you, I think it is.
Yeah.
Elnor isn't coming back to that, and Rafi's going to have to face a very difficult scenario when they do eventually get back.
Because that's one of the questions I put. It's like, it's not a question, it's a comment. Is Elnor is still on the La Sirena because we didn't see him getting taken off, because we didn't see them taking it. So what's going to happen to Elnor? Is he going to be helped by the Ball Queen? Is it going to be / Girardi? Is he?
We're forgetting something else. If they are able to rectify everything, let's theoretically go, that also rectifies the Q.
Yeah.
If Q's happy enough with everything, you could reset the lot.
Yeah. And that is another question. What's happening with Q? And what the heck's it? We're convened in a lot of these episodes of skipping Q. And I'm still haven't, other than his same old games, what is he up to? I think maybe what is he up to? What is he up to? Trying to make sure this mission goes ahead. Why did he change the timeline in the first place? Did he change the timeline in the first place? Why is he ill? Why was he helping Adam Sung to start with? or was that something to kick a certain thing into action? So he was pretending to help him. What's their daughter going to be doing?
Mm-hmm.
And who? So go.
No, I was going to say I've got a few. I've got quite a few things in my head starting to spiral off in 101 directions, so I'm going to try and rein it back in. Something that I keep coming back to that Q says right at the start of the season, when they're in that alternate reality, that dystopian future, or dystopian present, I should say. Welcome to the end of the path not taken, which is the end of the path not taken. That was going to me. That means that point in time was going to be the end of something.
So maybe that's the end of the Borg, because they did talk about the Borg being destroyed. So maybe
or the end of the Q.
Ooh. So how are the Q intermuddled with the Borg and everything else? Ooh.
I don't know. But it's the thing that I'm getting a bit concerned about. I can see them doing is we've got one more episode.
Yeah.
And we've got a hell of a lot of questions that need answered in that episode. And part of me is really scared, selfishly, that they're not going to round this story off in season 2.
Yeah, so it may go into season 3. This could even be a double episode on this. So this is episode 10 and 11. So it's like an hour and a half special, or would be considered a 2 hour special if it was TV with adverts, but an hour and a half special maybe. I know they don't mention because they've usually given us the title before, but not.
Yeah, it's not here yet. There is no title at the minute.
Yeah, which is probably good. I'm glad there is no title because I don't like spoilers in that way.
No airtime either, or runtime, I should say, that I can find. So, yeah, they've announced nothing about it, which, as you say, is a good thing.
Yeah. I'm trying to work out my notes here. I've got a question. Where does Jurati's other Borg come from? And I've got no idea what that means. But...
Yeah, because
that was it. Where does the other Borg? Sorry, go on.
No. After you.
When I say Jurati, I meant the Borg Queen in the first couple episodes. First episode that was showing her what we're pretty sure is Jurati as the Borg Queen. Is the Borg still going off and being Borg? And are they going to go and continue assimilating? Or are they going to be like more of a Jurati? And is this going to be a more of a different Borg? A different way of assimilation? Or is that Jurati still going to let the Borg assimilate?
Well, that's the other thing as well. Are they going to continue as 2 separate entities? I mean, if you think about because the Borg sort of formed around sort of hive mind, and you can probably look at them as a metaphor or a simile, whichever one you want to choose, to like a beehive. Yeah. Now you've got more than one beehive on the planet with more than one queen. Yeah. There's one queen per hive, but what's to say that you don't have the Borg as we know them continuing to operate the way they do, but you've got that other hive with Jurati building up over all those years, trying to make the galaxy a better place through that vision.
Yeah, and the idea I was having when I was starting to talk about the emergency security hologram is maybe related into this is what are the Borg? Are the Borg going to use that technology to copy people on the ship? And a lot of her Borg ship are going to be people that have been on that ship, so like Picard's, Jurati's, and everybody, and they're all going to be copies of like Elnor or whatever, whoever's been on that ship.
That's an interesting theory. I quite like that.
Yeah,
I guess we'll need to wait and see.
yeah,
I would love it if she did succeed. She was able to save so many people from the brink of death or whatever, and they willingly joined her.
yeah,
As well. I think that would be a true testament to Jurati.
yeah,
And of course, I've also got in the back of my head that this is going to mean the end of the Jurati character for us. That'll be her character
yeah,
probably played out.
yeah. And I love the character Jurati, and it's like, how are they? Are they gonna unborg her? Probably not. If so, how are they gonna? Are they gonna have her as a Borg as a main character for a season?
Which again brings me back to is Q, once all this is over, going to go, oh, well done, Picard, you passed this next test. Think,
Yeah.
and everything goes back to the way it was at the start of the first episode.
But we still had Picard earlier thinking Q's not actually testing them. He's getting people to test him or the Q continuum.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing still got to fit into next episode, which we haven't rightly mentioned, is the actual ending of, other than the ship flying away, is they actually got to watch and make sure the Adam Sung doesn't cause any more trouble with the flight going ahead. Also, what was it? 2 Renes? One's got to die.
Yeah, talk about riddles. Like, I can't work
Yeah.
that one out. I cannot work that one out.
That's maybe we're thinking about something similar here. Go on.
The Sung's daughter.
Yeah.
What if she somehow is the other Renee? That would tie her in with the rest of the cast and the rest of the story. That would complete a circle.
Yeah.
Don't ask me how, I have absolutely no idea.
Unless it's Renee who dies and she has to be the other Renee.
Maybe.
That's a different theory. I like that. That's not the one I was going to go with, but...
Oh, tell us, what was your one?
I was thinking, we had a discussion, is what happened to Renee, as in Picard's brother, who is a Picard himself, but yeah, Jean-Luc's brother. What happened to Renee? He died in a fire. What if somehow he's going to make sure that actually happens? That's haunted. I don't like. Actually,
That would be tragic.
That's a bit dark, I know, but that's the only other Renee we know.
Yeah, you're right. That's actually a fair point. That is another Renee. You know, she needs to live. He needs to die for some reason. That will become apparent.
Yeah.
That's a fair point. Maybe Picard is presented with an option that could save his brother, but he needs to make the decision, and you know, the consequences of his brother living could be disastrous.
Yeah. I've got another theory which I've suddenly come up with. Renee has to complete this mission as the female Renee. I think the important thing is here she finds an alien life form, or something that she thinks is an alien life form. What if this is something that copies people like the Silver Blood in Voyager, or is a shapeshifter of some kind, and one of those two have to die?
Good shout. I like that as well.
It's
there's so many different options, and there are so many questions still, I guess, aren't there? But the other thing that one of the first things I thought off the back of, you know, seeing the ship fly off into the sky is, oh, that's lovely for Jurati and the Borg Queen, but how the beep are they getting home?
Yes, that was also something Yeah, I didn't actually put it down, but I did think at the time. Oh, actually, I did write that down. How do they get back? Sorry, that was the fourth one I wrote down. And then it was just
You
like...
cough, cough.
Oh, God.
That's
Yeah.
going to be to me, I don't mean this to sound as rude as it sounds to the writers, but that's the easy way out.
Yeah.
No cue, snap, there you go.
Yeah. What if somehow they do like on First Contact, or the comment that Renee made to him, to Jean-Luc? Would you like to come along for a ride? And they are somehow delivered somewhere to outer space on this ship on the Europa mission. Where they're going to go from that spaceship,
Okay.
who knows? But
Yeah.
not me. I don't know.
But we will hopefully find out next week.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
If anybody's got any thoughts, please put it in the chat. I'll be interested to really hear what ideas are. Before we come up with about 50 more ideas of things that have got to be answered next episode and more theories. I think we should end it there.
Good idea.
I'm going to say thank you again, Olympus, for coming us. What's your stream name, Olympus?
Olympus 0511. You can find me on Twitch and very soon on YouTube. I'm starting to look into some video recordings, game oriented to begin with, and see how I get on with that. Yeah, you'll be able to find me on both those platforms. And just a massive thank you again for having me. I absolutely love being on and chatting to you about all things Star Trek Picard. So yeah. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah,
thank you.
I've enjoyed it as well. And again, I've got a Twitch channel. If you're watching this, you've probably watched it on YouTube. You have got a Twitch channel under the same name, Trek Wars and Fantasy. You can find me on Twitter, Trek Wars Fantasy. Please come and say hello. Again, thank you for watching, and live long and prosper.
Good night.
Oh, I can do it with my right hand. There we are. See you later.